3 phones, 1 winner. This is my POCO X3 GT camera test. Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again. And following up to my POCO X3 GT review, I bring you the camera test between the POCO F3 and the Redmi Note 10 Pro. But first of all, let's start with the specs. First of all, we have the POCO X3 GT with a 64 megapixel OV64B 8 megapixel ultrawide and a 2 megapixel macro camera. Then we have the POCO F3 with that IMX582 sensor, an 8 megapixel ultrawide, and a 5 megapixel macro camera as well. And rounding out the camera test, we have the Redmi Note 10 Pro with a 108 megapixel HM2 sensor. We also have an 8 megapixel ultrawide, a 5 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. So it's going to be an interesting battle to see who comes out on top, one of the POCO devices or the Redmi. Which phone will it be? Let's have a look at these samples and talk about them when we get back. This is rear-facing video on the POCO X3 GT, the POCO F3, and the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Shooting in 4K, 30 FPS. Great stabilization on these phones. Looks pretty good. Let's follow that bird. Good tracking. There we go. Oh, there you go. Listen to the mics, hear how they sound, and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? And this is front-facing video on the POCO X3 GT, the POCO F3, and the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Coming to you guys from an extremely hot Hong Kong. Feels like 40 degrees Celsius here. I'm sweating up a storm. But looks pretty overexposed here on the POCO X3 GT. Looks, I think, best on the POCO F3. But listen to the mics, hear how they sound, and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? So what'd you guys think? Did the POCO X3 GT take it, or did another phone steal the win? Guys, this was a very tough, tight race. In third place, though, I think the POCO F3, despite having great video, had very less detail at night. Now in the daytime shots, I was pretty happy with the results, but you'll see here, when you zoom in to the underpass, you will see it's just a bit of a muddy mess on the POCO F3. In second place, by a hair, the POCO X3 GT delivered really sharp shots, and honestly guys, this OV64B is a terrific sensor. You can see here, even in the zoom shots, it did a good job, but I did notice quite a bit of overexposure. Specifically here, you can see the 711 is just blown out on this phone. And by a hair guys, the winner of this camera test is the Redmi Note 10 Pro. It delivered consistent shots. Yes, some were better than others, but you know, even with the zoom shots, it did a great job. I loved the front camera look of the Redmi Note 10 Pro, and even in the lowest of lighting, you notice here, it is still the sharpest of the bunch. But a pretty close race. Which phone won for you guys? It's gonna be a tight one here, so hit me up in the comments. What do you think? And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching, guys. Go check out my full review of the POCO X3 GT in case you haven't. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one.